Ever find yourself wishing our brains came with, like, an instruction manual?
That would certainly make things easier.
Right. Well, today's deep dive, it's taking us into the world of AI. And get this, researchers might be getting closer to, well, a sort of user manual for intelligence itself.
It's a fascinating area of research, no doubt. We're going to be exploring how a technique called chain of thought prompting is transforming how AI tackles problem solving.
Okay, gotta be honest, chain of thought prompting. It sounds a little, I don't know, intimidating.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm always up for having my mind blown. So where do we even start with this?
Let's imagine for a second you're trying to solve a tricky riddle, right? You wouldn't just magically leap to the answer, would you? You'd probably kind of talk yourself through it step by step, maybe even jot down some notes.
Definitely. Otherwise, my brain would short circuit.
Exactly. And as it happens, that very process, that breaking a problem down into stages, well, it turns out it's not just something we humans do.
Well,
Researchers are finding that it's a total game changer for AI as well.
wait, so instead of just bombarding AI with mountains of data and crossing our fingers, we're talking about actually showing them how to think,
Yeah.
like giving them a set of mental tools or strategies.
You've got it. It's about guiding their thought process. Instead of just hitting the AI with a complex problem, now researchers are giving them examples of solutions, but with a twist. These examples, they include all the intermediate reasoning steps laid out.
Okay, so less like, hey, AI, figure this out, and more like, all right, to solve for X first, we got to figure out Y, and here's how, then we can use Z. Wow, okay, I'm starting to see how that could be huge.
And here's the kicker. This simple change, this showing the AI how to think step by step, it's led to some pretty astonishing results, especially when it comes to tasks that really rely on logic and reasoning. Things like, let's say, mathematics.
AI tackling math problems.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I can barely balance my checkbook without pulling out a calculator. Let's dive into that. So we're talking AI going beyond just crunching numbers. We're talking about those word problems, the ones that used to give me nightmares back in school.
That's right. We're talking about problems that require logic, deduction, even a little bit of creative problem solving. And to put this to the test, researchers use something called the GSM-8K benchmark.
GSM-8K, what is that? Like some super intense math Olympiad for AI?
You could say that. It's a collection of, well, challenging math problems, and not just basic arithmetic either. These problems are designed to really make you think.
Okay, so some real brain teaser material. I'm hooked. What happened when they let the AI have a go at these GSM-8K problems?
So they used a specific language model called Polym M540B. Now, on its own, this model's pretty powerful, but they took things a step further. They incorporated this chain of thought prompting, showing the model examples of how to break the problems down, think through those steps.
And what? Did it crash and burn? Explode?
Quite the opposite. It achieved state-of-the-art accuracy.
State-of-the-art. Hold on, meaning it was going up against like the best of the best, and it came out on top.
You got it. And here's the really interesting part. It even outperformed models that had been specifically fine-tuned, like trained from the ground up for these kinds of math problems.
So it's not just that this AI is good at math. It's like it's figuring out how to learn, like
Yeah.
in general.
That's the really groundbreaking thing here. This suggests that AI doesn't need to be spoon-fed mountains of data for every single task. Maybe, just maybe, it can learn how to adapt, how to solve new challenges just by being shown, well, the right way to approach them.
That's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. But math, well, that's just one piece of this puzzle. What has researchers really buzzing? It's whether this chain of thought prompting can be applied to something much more elusive. Common sense.
Common sense. Okay, you mean like knowing that wearing a swimsuit to a blizzard is a bad idea? Because, yeah, that's the thing I always hear about with AI, that whole understanding the world like we do.
Exactly. Common sense has always been a real hurdle for AI. But with this new approach, well, we're starting to see some very promising results.
All right, got to give me an example. How do you even start teaching common sense to AI? What does that even look like?
Let's take something as simple as understanding time, okay? As humans, we just get that next Tuesday means something different depending on what day it is today.
Right, next Tuesday on a Monday is a lot different than next Tuesday on a Friday.
Exactly. But for an AI to grasp at that, it's surprisingly complex.
Yeah.
Yet researchers found that by using chain of thought prompting, giving the AI those examples of how to reason through these temporal relationships, they actually improved its performance on tasks that need that very kind of common sense understanding of time.
So it's like AI is that friend who's always running late, but they're finally starting to figure out how to read a clock.
In a way, yes. But it's crucial to remember, we're not talking about AI becoming sentient or anything. That's still a long way off. What's significant here is we're witnessing this leap in their ability to reason, to understand context. It's a sign that something truly remarkable is happening in the world of AI.
This is all super fascinating, I have to ask. What does it all mean? Where does this all lead? What's the big takeaway?
That's the question, isn't it? If something as simple as showing AI how to think step by step can unlock this much potential, imagine what else we might discover, what other doors might open. AI assisting scientists in making groundbreaking discoveries, doctors diagnosing complex medical cases, architects designing efficient and sustainable cities of the future.
It's a bit daunting to think about, to be honest, but also exhilarating. Like this deep dive, it's less about the answers and more about opening up these big questions, right?
Absolutely. And those questions, they're only going to get bigger and more important as AI continues to evolve.
This has been incredible. I got to say, deep divers, I hope you're as captivated by this as I am because, wow. Who knew that the key to unlocking AI's potential might be in teaching it to think a bit more like us humans?
But the journey of AI, it's full of surprises. And honestly, it's a journey that's just beginning. As we keep exploring, keep digging deeper, one thing's certain. The future of intelligence, both artificial and our own, well, it's looking more and more remarkable by the day.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. But don't let the thinking stop here. We'll be back next time with a whole new topic to explore. Until then, stay curious.
So we've gone deep into this world of AI and explored how chain of thought prompting, it's like giving AI the actual instruction manual for thinking, even caught a glimpse of, I don't know, AI with common sense, wild stuff. It really makes you think about the power of like just breaking things down, right? Instead of tackling a problem all at once, showing AI the steps, the individual pieces, and to think, this is still just the beginning.
That's what's so crazy. We're really just getting started, and look at what's already happening. But, okay, if we are talking potential, I mean, where does this all lead? Chain of thought prompting, it's one thing, but what are the bigger implications here?
Well, you could say we're witnessing a kind of revolution in AI. For years, it was all about data, right? The more data you feed an AI, the better. But now, chain of thought prompting, it's like a totally different path. It suggests AI can learn not just from the what, but the how.
So instead of just mimicking, they're actually starting to understand the process, the how of solving a problem, like we do.
Exactly. Imagine the possibilities, AI that can collaborate with scientists on groundbreaking discoveries, with doctors diagnosing complex medical cases, even with architects designing sustainable cities for the future.
It's like we're handing them the keys to innovation. But, and I got to admit, this part's a little unnerving, what happens when AI gets so good at this, at thinking things through, that it surpasses us?
That's a question that comes up a lot, and for good reason. It's important to think about these things. But AI, it's a tool at the end of the day, a reflection of our own ingenuity. It's up to us to make sure it's used for good, right? To address the challenges we face, not make them worse.
Absolutely. AI is a collaborator, not a competitor. Deep divers, this has been incredible. You know, it really makes you think, who knew that maybe, just maybe, the secret to unlocking AI's potential was to help it think a little more like us humans.
It's an incredible journey, this field of AI, full of surprises, and honestly, we're just getting started. The more we learn, the more fascinating it gets.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. But don't let the conversation end here. Keep those brains buzzing, and we'll see you next time with a whole new topic to explore. Until then, happy thinking.